Cindy Wildy, Goodwill of Great Plains. Lisa Meyer, West Golden Street.
Jessica Stengel, West Golden Street.
Deidre Brown, West Golden Street.
Kim Wilson, Jackson Recovery Centers.
Amy Reese, Board Counseling Services.
Ashley Miller, Plainsbury Mental Health.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have the minutes of the previous meeting. Those were sent out both electronically and they're also in your packets. Is there any questions or concerns on the minutes from last month's meeting?
I'll move that we approve the minutes of the April 24th meeting as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion from Neil, second from Brent. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Okay, next up is the approval of the agenda, which you have, we all have before us. And Dawn, is there any additions we need to make to the agenda for today?
No, appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Is there a motion to accept the agenda as?
Yeah, so moved.
Thanks, thanks Cecil, thanks Dennis. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Next up, we usually have a time for comments from the public for anything that's not on the agenda. If anybody wishes to speak, now is the time to address the board. Anybody wants to? Not seeing any hands in the air, so we'll go ahead and move on. Number 6, unfinished business, the monthly financial report. Dawn, do you?
If you want to refer to the financial reports in your packet, I had sent out a preliminary financial report, and at that time I had not received the Ida County report. Since then, I've received the April county ledger and added Ida County's fund balance for the month into the report. And so our total ending balance between, total expenditures for ending balance from, starting balance April 1st, 2019 was $3,946,108.29. In April, we took in revenues of $874,373.45, which includes the county payments to the region, so that's why our facility fund revenues are up. The expenditures were $1,147,869.71, with a total county regional balance at the end of April of $3,683,612.03. A couple of things of note there with the Ida County balance that they're projecting. I have projected an ending balance with what they set for a tax levy for fiscal year 19. That they would be around $35,036. They may have some outstanding taxes that still come in yet before the end of the fiscal year. They are going to need the ability to delay their first payment to the region until October after the September taxes come in. They levied enough to be able to make their per capita next year, so that's not an issue. It's just a cash flow issue for Ida County. And we've had that with other counties in the past that we've had to have a delay in their payment to the second quarter. So we have a good enough balance within the region that I don't see as being an issue. And I went back and compared all of the individual counties to their per capita and what they're projected to end with this year. And I think the only one that is going to need to delay their first payment will be Ida. And then, of course, we may need to just take action to note that I know prior, it was in 2016 or 2017 when Carol was going to have a delay. I think when that motion was made to allow those payments to be delayed until the second quarter, I think that was specific to that year. So I think we would just need to note that in the minutes or take a vote to allow that to happen, because obviously we're not going to have the ability to do that. But everybody else, all the other counties should be okay in terms of meeting their per capita, their first payment in July.
Okay, so we need to take an action to allow for that. Is that, anybody want to make a motion?
I'll move for that. I move to approve the extension. Or maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, that would
I
say,
should not.
yeah, probably. Let's not have you,
I better not be
let's
doing
not have you do that.
I'll be a good neighbor. I'll make the motion.
Thanks, Neil. Is there a second? Thanks, Scott. We have a motion and a second to allow for that contingency of Ida County to,
Do we, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
do we want to limit it to Ida, or can we make it a kind of a generic, where if this need arises in the future with other counties, we know that we have it on the books?
well, we do have it already
I know
back
that, I think we
from
did it for
Carol.
Carol, if I remember.
Right, so I think we can just do this on a case-by-case,
Okay,
year-by-year plan, so we have it.
Well,
Is
and
that-
as we do budget for fiscal year '21, it may be such because of the projections in our fund balances, trying to get down to that 30% that we had budgeted for. It may be that depending on how the expenditures go, and it could be that there's more than one that need that. And it might be all the counties that we have to just rely on reserve for that first quarter. So just keep that in mind, because we did really deplete our fund balance the last 2 years.
okay. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, we have a motion from Neil and a second from Scott, right? Okay. For this contingency, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Now abstain.
Okay. Opposed, nay. And one abstention. Good with that, Louise? Okay, thank you. Then we need a motion to accept the report
So moved.
Second.
from Dennis and Brent. All right. Any other questions for Dawn on the report? Hearing none, I'll call that vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion will carry as well. Okay, next up, the status of the request for ITP reimbursements from hospitals. Dawn, you want to update us on that one?
Yes, after we met last month, I had the opportunity to meet with the new director of Cherokee Regional Medical Center, and we had a really good discussion about different options for telepsychiatry within the hospital. Based on his prior experience, he was really a proponent in using licensed mental health therapists versus an actual doctor-to-doctor referral, based on, he came, I believe, from Arkansas or Oklahoma, and saw that work very well. So he's agreed to contract for reimbursement of 50% of the cost for 1 year, and just to allow us to look at other alternatives that may be a little more cost effective. So as of now, I have sent all the contracts out to all 6 hospitals. I've received a contract back from Stewart Memorial, not time to get on the agenda, but we'll take care of those contracts at the June meeting. I know that Crawford County Memorial Hospital, I met with them on Monday. They have some concerns about contracting for this, to reimburse us at this point in time, because their budget was going to be approved that evening, and this was not an expense that they had anticipated. So we had just discussed some other options, and we're going to have some follow-up meetings. It's not that they were opposed, they just wanted to be really transparent with the process, and so we're going to be meeting here probably in the next few weeks. But I anticipate having all of those contracts that were sent out back for the June meeting because of the agreement by the 5 at least. So hopefully we'll have those all in place on July 1st.
So then what 2 will be waiting for Crawford, and BB won't be.
No, BB already have insight.
All right.
And St. Anthony's doesn't contract for it because they have their own psychiatry on staff, so they don't need the service.
Okay.
They've been approached, but they refused.
Any other questions for Dawn on the status of the hospitals? Okay, we'll move on. status of the Rolling Hills Woodbury County transition.
Okay, I'm going to go through the management plan changes here in a little bit, but just to let you know that I had revised the management plan, sent the initial review off to DHS, and then had Jan Heikes comb through it. She sent back some suggestions that she felt needed to be added. There were a few minor changes in the nomenclature, just so that it really fell in line with Chapter 25. And then once I made the changes that she requested, I sent it back to her. She combed through it again, and then she passed it on to the next level. So it is going to be reviewed by the commission and hopefully approved at their next meeting on June 20th. I will be in attendance to answer any questions that the commission may have. So just to keep you apprised of that. I've been working closely with Siouxland Mental Health Center on the transitioning, trying to really work on the people that are getting funding through Sioux Rivers at the 250% and trying to get those people other funding sources. They have been tremendous to work with. We started having discussions about this process back in March, and when I talked with Joel and Sheila last week, they're on it. They're moving forward, and even for the folks from Plymouth and Sioux County, their work, I referred them back to Sioux Rivers to make a plan for those individuals for that funding to continue or look at other options. But for all the people that we're getting Sioux Rivers funding, those will not be fee-for-service clients through Rolling Hills as of July 1st. So that's been going very well. They've done a great job working with us on that. One of the next items of business is to make sure that the providers in Woodbury County know the process of order send a bill. So when they provide services in July, who do they send it to? So I'm going to be putting some kind of a pamphlet or letter together so that kind of a welcome to the Woodbury County providers, explain our process and who the contact people are, where to send claims, and what they can expect in terms of reimbursement, time frame turnaround, and so forth, so that they just have that familiarity going forward. And then one other thing that came to mind as I've been thinking this will transition through with the staff since we made those decisions is that I really think that we need to look at, and I'm going to make this recommendation to the board, that we look at a transition time frame for Cindy Weimold, who's been hired as the advocate, to at least get some training under her belt before July 1st. I know that when we conducted the interviews, it seemed logical that if she wasn't going to be on payroll in Woodbury County, that we wouldn't start the position until July 1st. And I just think that there's going to be a lot of crossover training that is going to be missed out on if Connie Barrett's done at the end of June. And she may not even want to do that training on her behalf. It might have to be done with one of, Julie, actually, Ann Landers is going to be the other advocate support. But I just really think there's an opportunity for Cindy to dig in and do some learning now. There's also on June 18th a CSN training that is geared towards utilization of the system on a 101 level, and that's the whole morning portion, and then the afternoon is specific to the new advocates that are coming on board. So I really think she needs to attend that. And so, I'm not talking 3 weeks worth of training. I'm thinking 3-4 days of maybe some transition time and just paying a stipend, and it obviously would have to come out of Rolling Hills for us to do that. I don't have any total or any figure in mind, Cindy and I haven't got that far, but I would just really like to move forward with getting her registered for that CSN training because it's going to be really critical. I mean, she's jumping in with all force, and she's not going to have anybody to follow. I did reach out to some advocates in the area to find out what they offer for training, and we've got a couple area advocates who are willing to have some job shadowing completed by Ann and Cindy, and then we've gotten hold of this packet of information. It's like 200 pages worth of information in regards to the advocate role and duties and forms and so forth. But I just really think that there needs to be someone taking the lead on that. I've never worked as an advocate, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert in that area because I'm not. And I know the job and what their role is, but as far as proper training and the rules of the court, as far as the advocate, that really needs to be done on a peer-to-peer basis. So I really would like us to see, moving forward with Cindy attending a few trainings or some training time prior to July 1st. She's no longer working for Pioneer, so she would have the time and the flexibility to use that, so.
I don't know the mechanics of this, but we should probably reimburse that expense if that's all right with all of you. I mean, even though I know it should be before July 1st, it'd be in support of Woodbury County. So if there's a way mechanically, to front that cost, then we could reimburse it afterwards if that's fair.
That would be fair. Yeah, if we just front the cost, we've got the ability to do that, and then we can just make sure that that is reimbursed after the first year, if that would.
First of the year, 1st of July.
Yeah, to me, that's first of the year.
Fiscal year.
First
okay.
of the fiscal.
Thank you.
That's how I roll it.
Okay,
My year's
yeah.
from July to June, so.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
Is the board okay with that plan?
Makes sense to me.
All right.
And then as far as the monetary amount, I can work out the details with Jeremy, and then, again, it's not going to be an astronomical amount by any means, but.
Well, it sounds like you got a plan to get her up and
Yeah, we do.
going, so she's,
So, other than that, I think we're on track. I got all the regional, the contracts sent out for all the Woodbury County providers at the same time as the Rolling Hills ones, and so the contracts that we approved today, there are some contracts missing. Obviously, I don't have everything back, so we'll have more contracts to complete in the month of June, but these are the ones that I did receive back that were signed from the provider at the time that we did the agenda.
okay.
Questions for me about
Yeah, does anybody else have anything?
transition?
Anybody in the audience too? If any of you have questions, just let us know. Get you in. Okay, well, that'll kind of roll right in then to the management plan, the amendments there that we need to do, so.
Yeah, it would be much easier to give you a quick reference guide of some of the changes versus having you all get another copy of the document with the Woodbury County access points. Obviously, I updated page 3 and the cover letter or cover page to reflect Woodbury County as being part of our geographic area served. One of the things that we have been operating under is that we will fund our CFs, and it's contingent on placement out of the hospital for up to 90 days. I clarified that in our actual management plan because that's been our practice and policy, but it was based on a former contract that we have with Carroll that is no longer in effect. So I added that just to make sure because we get requests all the time for RCF, people that are homeless or maybe coming out of jail and they need a place to stay or they're going to end up homeless, and there's a specific purpose and need for an RCF. So we want to make sure that that is for stabilization of somebody coming out of a hospital. And then, of course, I added the access points on page 26 for Woodbury County providers. And then I had to move all the new core services into the core service